desert between Vegas and LA, most freeway travelers just see a stretch of dead land where everything's named after the devil. No way in hell are they going to drive in there. They aren't looking to get lost, but you are. These are exactly the places that we like to explore. Out This Door focuses on travel to places that are actually off the beaten path. Hardly anyone makes the Mojave National Preserve a destination, and a rare few are willing to take the road that I'm about to show you. Most of those who do visit this national monument come in on the main paved road north-south through the park and head to the Kelso Depot Visitor Center. The few people who camp in security at the hole-in-the-wall campground with its asphalt and camp hosts. Some adventurous campers boondock at the Kelso sand dunes, where there's a few pit toilets and some fire rings. Even fewer go a step deeper into the preserve to find the not quite yet Instagram famous lava tubes at the north end of Aiken Mine Road, where a tiny parking lot collects overlanders and a few people who actually use their four-wheel drives as four-wheel drives. At the junction of the Aiken Mine Road with the Keelbaker Road, the two-track goes quietly off into the west, unnamed. Don't get your hopes up that it's epic. This is a beauty only the devil can love. But if you're the type who would rather not be found, then welcome to the Devil's Playground. Hi, I'm Nikki with Out This Door. Are you asking, how bad is the road? What's the best time of year to do the drive? What are some dangers to be aware of? I'm going to give you everything you need to know to enjoy this day trip where the Devil's Playground sand dunes are only part of the experience. If this video is helpful to you, you know what to do. Like and subscribe. If you have more questions or want to talk about how the trip went, we'd love to hear from you. Put it in the chat. Stick around till the end because the true secret to this route is what everyone flocks to. It's morning in the desert. Let's get rolling. From the pavement at the Keelbaker Road to the dunes, the drive takes about an hour and a half. We took the road at about 5 miles per hour, so this is real time, which is a bit slow. So let's speed up the recording to double time. I've edited out some of the pieces from this drive to make this video short and sweet. Let's crank this up to 4 times speed. The entire distance is a level 2. It's a single width 2-track with loose gravel and sand and rocks and crosses a lot of washes. It's fairly level with no steep drop-offs, so from a technical standpoint, it's not difficult, but it is bumpy and requires a high-clearance four-wheel drive vehicle. What are we driving? Well, we took this road for the first time in our Jeep Grand Cherokee equipped with four-wheel drive high and low. This footage is from our GMC Sierra pickup with a short bed. Both vehicles had plenty of capacity for this road. We aired down the tires to help smooth out the ride. I break this road into 3 phases. This is the first phase, the creosote zone. It's pretty much just creosote bushes as far as the eye can see, but it's not totally flat. The land pitches slightly downhill toward the north, and the elevation rises slightly as you get toward the canyon. There are a few pull-off spots, but they are only barely big enough to squeeze another car by. It's not big enough for boondocking, even in an overlanding vehicle. Did you know you're awesome? You are doing your research for this road so you can be more prepared when you go. Here are a couple more tips. Make sure to tell someone where you're going and when you expect to check back in. There's no cell service out here. If you break down or get stuck, you're probably walking back. Take extra food, water, warm clothes in case you need to or want to stay a while. You may see another car on this road, but probably not. The remoteness is part of the adventure. Now we're moving into phase 2 of the drive through Jackass Canyon. Most of the road is now in the wash, so the gravel is very loose here, but it's not as rocky. We're still at about 5 miles an hour. This area has several threads of washes and tire tracks. The main road and the power line access spurs are easy to see, so direct your tire impact to those lanes. It's a heck of a lot safer for you, but also when there's a lot of roads going all over the place, looks trashed, and none of us want that. We all want it to feel natural and remote. That's why we're here. There's also access to the wilderness boundary in this canyon, so it's a really cool place to get out and hike around. I'm a plant geek, you've seen some of my pictures through this video, but I will say that this is not the best location for wildflowers or wildlife. Main safety tip here, take this wash when it's dry. Flash floods are really dangerous. The land looks parched and it's hard to understand why dry land doesn't just soak up the water instantly, but it just doesn't work that way. The water is so forceful that it moves boulders and it can make this gravel like quicksand. So don't take this road if it's rained recently or if it looks like it's about to rain. So when is a good time to be here on this road and in the Mojave National Preserve in general? Well, for God's sakes, don't go in the summer, you fool. Go to the desert in the winter when it's bearable. Even though the winter is rainy season, it rarely actually rains here. This footage was all shot in February over 3 years. It's like 50-60 degrees during the day. The rattlesnakes are still hibernating. There's no bugs. It's a little chilly and windy. Just put on a sweater. I'm wearing a long sleeve sun shirt, pants, linen scarf, and a beanie or a sun hat, depending on how chilly and windy it is at that moment. As we drive into the third phase of this road, we leave the canyon and come out onto this alluvial plain that stretches out toward the dunes, which you can see coming up in the distance. We cross a lot of dry washes in this section, so it's gravelly and rocky with eroded spots that can be forded but take some extra care. In this section, there's a lot of cholla. Cholla are the cactus that come off of the main plant in segments and are covered in spines. They're notorious for sticking to your dog's fuzzy feet. Ouch! So watch out for those if you get out to walk around. The closer you get to the dunes, the more sand is going to be on the road, and the sand moves by the wind, so sometimes there's going to be more sand than other times. This is a powdery, dry sand, so it can be really easy to get stuck in. When you get to the first dune that crosses the road, find a spot to park either right before this dune or right after. The first time we went out here, we continued on the main channel, which goes right along the dunes, and the sand got really thick, so I don't advise going any further. You're close enough to enjoy the dunes from here or walk the road just a short way to go further in. We made it to the dunes! Yay! So pretty! But these dunes are different than the Kelso sand dunes, which you can see in the distance to the southeast. The Kelso sand dunes are nice and smooth uniformly, so if you're looking to slide down a dune on a board or a piece of cardboard, the Kelso dunes are a better place for that. These dunes are peppered with rocks, and that's what makes them so pretty, I think. That, and there's typically nobody here. The Devil's Playground sand dunes are not what makes this experience epic. Instead, it's the whole road, the emptiness of civilization, like a post-apocalyptic quiet. It's the lack of color, even in the sunshine. The baby-bottom softness of the dunes punctuated by these sharp rocks. Only the devil can let go with wild abandon. You go to the dunes, you have a great time, now it's time to head back. The most efficient way back to the paved Kelbaker Road is to go back the way you came from through Jackass Canyon. But maybe you have more time and you want to explore more. There are 2 spur roads off the road you came in on between the dunes and the canyon. Look for them as you drive in so you know where they are. One spur heads southeast toward the Kelso sand dunes and the railroad tracks. You cannot get to the Kelso dunes from here by car. You cannot cross the railroad tracks to get out. So there's no outlet, the tracks are private property, you can't cross, so there's really no reason to take that spur. But you can take the spur heading to the northwest, which follows the west side of the Kelso Mountains for like forever. It takes a long, long time. When you do get to the end of the mountains here, there's a T intersection with the old government road. The road going west goes to the dry Soda Lake, and to the right it heads back east to the Kelbaker Road. The old government road is also called the Mojave Road, and it's a little bit of history. When you get to the east side of the mountains, that's where you're going to see civilization again. Remember at the beginning of the video, I said stick around to the end because the true secret to this route is what everyone flocks to? Well, this is it. This is what everyone flocks to. The sign. It looks like it's the beginning of the trail. Other drivers start here at the junction of the Mojave Road and the Kelbaker Road instead of taking the lonely, unnamed road across from the Aiken Mine Road just a few miles to the south. So now you know the secret as to why the Jackass Canyon route to the Devil's Playground sand dunes is so remote. They aren't looking to get lost, but you are. You are very smart to do your research to be prepared for taking this trail. This isn't a badass technical Jeep trail by any means, but it is dangerous since it's remote. I'm not responsible for any damage or loss or pain or heartache or boredom you might experience. This road, as life, is on your shoulders. Live it well and live it safely. At Out This Door, we don't want you to have the trip of a lifetime. We want you to have a lifetime of trips. So get out this door.